Lesson 5, Sentence Fragments and Run-on Sentences. A sentence fragments are incomplete sentences. They do not express complete thoughts. You can correct sentence fragments by adding a subject, a predicate, or both. The first one, these small bitter fruits. So that's the subject. What happened to them? Are filled with rich oil. That's the predicate. What are filled with rich oil? From green to purple, black. What? The subject is missing and the predicate is missing. Run-on sentences are two or more sentences that run together, just like it says. You can correct run-on sentences by separating the sentences or by combining them with a conjunction and the proper punctuation. In the next one, an olive tree can live longer than 2,000 years. Its bark becomes twisted as it gets older. Those are two separate sentences that we could separate out. An olive tree can live longer than 2,000 years, period, and make a capital. Its bark becomes twisted as it gets older. Now read the top two sentences and decide if they are a sentence or a fragment. People like tall buildings. The view from the top. Which one is a complete sentence? Hopefully you said people like tall buildings. People is the subject. Like tall buildings is the predicate. The view from top. It has the subject, the view, but what happens? We're missing the predicate. The next one. A bridge designer, Gustav Eiffel. Is that a complete sentence? No, it's a fragment. What is it missing? It's missing the subject. Not subject, sorry. It's missing the predicate. So we see a bridge designer. Notice this is in a positive. It's describing more in depth who the designer is. But it's missing the predicate. What did he do? You could say he built an Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. The next one, number 2, stands over 1,000 feet or over 300 meters tall. What is it missing? It has the predicate. It tells me what it does, but it's missing the subject. And the last one, for about 40 years. We don't have the subject or the predicate. No subject or predicate. Now, as I read the next sentence, I want you to think how we could correct it. Eiffel used iron and steel to build the tower. Workers put together over 18,000 pieces of iron. That's definitely a run-on sentence. How could I correct it? I could separate the sentences. Eiffel used iron and steel to build the tower, period. And then capital for workers. Workers put together over 18,000 pieces of iron. Let's read the next one together. People can take an elevator to the top. They can walk up 674 steps to the second level. There are two sentences there. We could combine them using a conjunction. People can take an elevator to the top, comma, and they can, or they can walk up 674 steps to the second level. Number 3, visitors stand on decks. They look out at the beautiful city of Paris. That is a run-on sentence. There are two separate sentences. We could combine it using a conjunction, though. Visitors stand on decks, comma, and they looked out at a beautiful city of Paris. Would we say or and? In that case, it would be and. Another way to combine sentences, as in example number 4, would be to use a subordinate conjunction. Gustav Eiffel was nicknamed Magician of Iron. He miraculously built the tower quickly and on schedule. So the subordinating conjunction could be because. We could have a comma there and put because. Now let's reread it. Gustav Eiffel was nicknamed Magician of Iron, comma, because he miraculously built the tower quickly and on schedule. Remember, the two subordinate conjunctions would be because or although. Obviously, in the last one, we're probably going to use although, right? Many other buildings today stand taller than the Eiffel Tower. This monument is still special. So we could add at the beginning, although many other buildings today stand taller than the Eiffel Tower, comma, this monument is still special. For the last part, we are going to take this paragraph and we are going to either add a subject, a predicate, or conjunctions. The conjunctions, one or two, can be used more than once, but the subjects and predicates, they're only used once. So last summer, my Aunt Sina, one day my aunt went, ooh, that's missing a predicate. So does this make sense? Last summer, my Aunt Sina visited Paris. We're done with that. One day, my aunt went to see the Eiffel Tower. She was amazed by it. That's two separate sentences. So could we add a conjunction? But she was amazed by it, or when she was amazed by it, or and she is amazed by it. Hopefully you see that it would be and. One day my aunt went to see the Eiffel Tower. And. Add an and in there. We need to add a comma because they're two separate sentences. One day my aunt went to see the Eiffel Tower, comma, and she was amazed by it. So now we've done and, but we might be able to use another one. My aunt decided to walk up the stairs to the second level. She took the elevator after climbing about 350 steps. It's a run-on sentence, two complete sentences. So I think the break would be right about here. My aunt decided to walk up the stairs to the second level. Now she's switching and walking and then taking the elevator. So when or but? Hopefully you said but. So we do comma, but she took the elevator after climbing about 350 steps. Next sentence, still loved the monument. That is a fragment. This is not a complete sentence. What could we add? When. Next one, still loved the monument. What could we add? We see the predicate, but we don't see the subject, so we could add she. Still, she loved the monument. She got to the top of the tower, comma, she looked out at Paris in amazement. Nothing's wrong with that. And the last one, Aunt Sina didn't want to leave. She just stood there and snapped photo after photo. So right there we need a conjunction. Aunt Sina didn't want to leave, and she just stood there snapping photo after photo. She emailed me all 20 of them. They all looked great, or alike. Those are two compound sentences, so we could add but, comma, but they all looked alike. So for your homework, on top of the world, A, read each group of words. Circle C if the group of words is a complete sentence. Circle F if it's a fragment. Number 1, have died climbing Mount Everest. Is that complete or a fragment? You should say a fragment. So I'll give you the first answer. In B, you need to read each sentence fragment. Circle the words that can be added to form a complete sentence. Write the sentence on the line. You can C is optional. Go to doing the impossible. Circle R if the sentence is a run-on sentence. Circle C if it's correct. Some people have a strong desire to set world records. Complete. And then in B, read the paragraph. Correct each run-on sentence by forming a compound sentence, a complex sentence, or two sentences. And C is optional.